Dune is one of the most grand-scale projects of recent years, partly thanks to its amazing cast full of A-listers. Let's see how Google Alerts helped Timothee Chalamet land the main role in the film. We'll also tell you who managed to kick Jason Momoa in the nuts. Hint, it's the same guy whom Zendaya threw to the floor. Excited? Then let's go! Timothee Chalamet made the director cry. For Timothee, Dune was a dream project. Not only did it solidify his status as one of today's most popular young stars, but it also allowed him to work with Denis Villeneuve, whose work Chalamet has loved from the very beginning.
What's amazing with Denis, his movies are so rapidly intelligent.
Timothee even set up a Google alert to follow news on the project. That's how much he wanted to be in Dune. And when Villeneuve called to meet him, Chalamet quickly read the book. After all, he had to be prepared, but in reality, Timothee had nothing to worry about. He was the director's first and only choice for the role. There was just one Paul Atreides on Earth right now for me, and there was one name on the list, Villeneuve said. There were a few reasons why. First of all, Chalamet's undeniable acting talent and charisma. Another reason is how he can look both mature and young at the same time. This was perfect for Paul, who's described as an old soul in a young body. And when the director saw Chalamet in his first scene, which was the extremely powerful Gom Jabbar scene, he just cried. Villeneuve said that they were tears of joy because of how perfect Timothee was in the role. Well, a good director must have good instincts, right? But another cast member wasn't so sure about her involvement. Rebecca Ferguson faced her greatest fear.
Face my fear, and I will permit it to pass over me.
One thing the actress doesn't want to happen in her career is to be typecast. So when Villeneuve approached her to talk about the role of Lady Jessica, Ferguson hesitated at first. She thought that the character was just another Ilsa Faust from Mission Impossible, a strong woman who can kick butt. It's lovely, but I also find vulnerability really strong. I find fear very interesting, Rebecca commented, but the actress agreed to think about Villeneuve's offer. She soon found that Lady Jessica was so much more than just another strong woman and eventually agreed to play her. Of course, Ferguson had a blast on the set with all of her famous castmates, and filming it in the desert made her reassess everything.
And the desert, it's so big. It's basically Mother Nature engulfing you and going, you mean nothing.
It even takes your ego away. But there was a challenge the actress feared to face. The scene where she is trapped in an ornithopter, a flying machine. It turns out that Rebecca's highly claustrophobic, and she always makes sure that she can't be locked in anywhere on a set. But this time, her fear came true. In the ornithopter, there was a moment when I panicked and I literally took my foot and just kicked the door out, Ferguson shared. That's how much she needed to know she could get out. And here's another actor who did something out of character on the set. Jason Momoa's unexpected dedication.
Film set the bar and how I want to have my career go.
For Jason, Dune's become the biggest project of his career so far. Yes, even bigger than Aquaman and Game of Thrones. Oh, by the way, Momoa once recalled the latter on the set, and he did it at quite a special moment. Remember the scene with Duncan Idaho's epic fight where he took down a hallway full of enemies? See what he said before filming it.
Just saw the season finale of Game of Thrones last night. This fight's for you, Khaleesi.
Chills. Literal chills. You're probably wondering what took him so long to watch the final season. Because with everything going on in the world, it seems like Game of Thrones ended ages ago. But don't forget that Dune took a long time to film. So round about the time that Momoa was filming this scene, we were all freaking out about the show's ending. And while we're on the topic of Game of Thrones, when Dune finally came out, Stephen Colbert asked Momoa an interesting question.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Duncan Idaho or Khal Drogo?
Duncan Idaho. Basically the greatest fighter in the world, galaxy for that matter.
And what would your answer be? Anyway, Jason certainly had to prepare for this role. He spent 3 weeks rehearsing Duncan's biggest fight, ensuring that the choreography was perfect. But although Momoa had a lot of fun on the set, he also faced a challenge of his own. He was kneed in the groin by Timothee Chalamet. You're probably thinking, how did this skinny guy manage to take down Momoa himself? Let me tell you how it happened. Jason came up with the joke about Timothee's character's muscles and laughed at how slim the young actor was. Chalamet didn't hold back and quickly got revenge on his big friend. When I hug him, he kneed me in the balls so hard, Momoa shared. Other than that, the actors got along pretty well on the set. Jason said that Timothee was like a little brother to him, and he admired Chalamet's talent and intelligence. Who doesn't admire him, right? Well, both of these actors are awesome, actually. Now let's move on to the character that was much less likable. Stellan Skarsgard's terrifying presence. You probably didn't even notice that Baron Harkonnen appears in Dune much less than most of the other characters, all because his menacing presence is felt pretty much all the time. And even if he's just sitting in the room without saying a word, he's still terrifying.
It was difficult because I didn't want the Baron to look like a caricature. I wanted to feel a menace of that massive human being and that weight.
Skarsgard actually only spent 8 or 10 days on the set of Dune. You might think that sounds like a pretty easy job, but there was someone else who was only on the set for 4 days. We'll get back to that later. Anyway, the job wasn't that simple for Skarsgard because he had to sit in a makeup chair for 8 hours every day. Recall how repulsive Baron Harkonnen is in the film, and you'll understand why Skarsgard needed it. Having his makeup done took about a third of the actor's total time on Dune, but Stellan didn't mind. After all, he got to work with Denis Villeneuve. Whatever he does, he creates an atmosphere that is dense, that you can touch, and you're just sucked into it. You're never bored. The actor commented about the director's style. It's hard to argue with him, and it looks like all the actors were honored to be in Villeneuve's film. Javier Bardem is fond of the sandworms. The actor absolutely loves Villeneuve's work. When Denis called to offer him the role in Dune, Bardem jokingly asked how much he had to pay to appear in it. "It's one of those blessings that you have in this amazing, blessed life," Javier happily shared. And there was another reason why the actor was so eager to join the cast. Ever since he was a teenager, he liked the book series, as well as David Lynch's adaptation of it. When Bardem first saw it, he thought that it was huge and weird, and what he loved the most were the sandworms. We're yet to see if his character meets one in the sequel. I'm sure Javier is hoping there will be a second film and that he'll have a bigger role in it. Just like his younger co-star and fellow tribeswoman, Zendaya swept the director away. As soon as she heard about the plans to make the Dune movie, she was determined to be in it.
The opportunity to work with Denis, I think he's an extraordinary filmmaker and has always been someone that I also admired.
But unlike Timothee Chalamet, who was the director's first choice, it looked like the young actress didn't have a chance. The casting crew didn't even look in her direction at first. She got to the audition and managed to convince Villeneuve that she was the Chani. Zendaya made me believe that she has been raised on an alien planet in the deep desert in the roughest environment, the director shared. He was amazed by the precision of her acting skills and her professionalism. That's how Zendaya got cast in her dream project. And Villeneuve wasn't the only one swept away by her talent. Chalamet also loved working with her.
Amazing. She basically threw me to the floor.
But they didn't get to hang together on the set for long because Zendaya did all of her scenes in just 4 days. But this short period was enough for her to realize how much she liked Chani.
She's a warrior. She's native to this planet. This is all she knows.
Zendaya feels that she only scratched the surface of her character and strives to learn more about her. So, if and when the Dune sequel happens, she'll be happy to come back and show us more of Chani. We're certainly looking forward to that. If you liked this video, watch another one we made about the real-life partners of the Dune cast. And stay awesome!